Hi, and welcome to Rude the Reformer, where I'm going to do my best to help you learn and discuss how to replace by reform the disastrous two-party system. The system that has caused Americans to hate one another for a difference in viewpoint. How many people in the United States 50 years ago would have believed that the political system would become so divided that neighbors, siblings, extended family could actually hate one another because of political viewpoints? I think it's a disaster. So that's why I'm doing my best to encourage people to think of alternatives. And maybe we can change it. Well, we can, but we'd have to get together. So that's why I encouraged Art Rude to write this book, Political Cocaine: How America Got Hooked on the Two-Party System and How to Intervene. Now, the first part of the book talks about, it's really a strange story when you think about it, because the founders did not want political parties. I kind of understood that, but in researching the book, it was very plain to me. And the details are in here. The colonists despised political parties. And it wasn't a simple majority. It was the vast majority. 85% of the books that were sold in the colonies in this general time frame were written by anti-party authors. A lot of people have forgotten it, but the biggest seller was Gulliver's Travels, and Gulliver's Travels was meant to be a story making fun of political parties. Political Cocaine. Just Google it. Political Cocaine by Art Rude, and several options will come up. The ebook is the best value, okay? I have no control over the price, but all of us of my age like the paper. I understand that, but paper is very expensive, especially if you're a unknown author like myself. If somebody famous writes a book, they can run off 1 million copies, and in bulk, it gets a lot cheaper. But the paper is pretty expensive. So I prefer the ebook. And now you can get the audiobook as well. So if you don't have time to read, I'll read it to you. So I hope you enjoy that. But most important of all, I hope it starts the discussion. These are the starting reforms. They're in the end of the book. Just 3 of them. I've given a lot of thought to how the system could be changed to be closer in line with the Constitution, where they don't mention political parties. They have no rights. You do. Let's shut them down. But we got to get together. That's the only way we can do it. We'll have to get together. But these are the starting reforms that I'm suggesting. I don't claim to know it all, but I was a teacher for most of my life. And I try to encourage my students, and now I'm trying to encourage anyone who will watch these videos to think for yourself. And I'll try to give you some ammunition. I'll try to give you some things to think about and hopefully discuss. Because the best mind is an open mind. And I'm sure you got one of them if you're here. Thank you, by the way. Okay, so the first reform is limit terms. The second one is repeal winner take all. And that was in the previous video that I did. And so this now is, in many ways, to me, the most exciting one. Reform number 3, dissolve the House. Dissolve the House of Representatives. Send them home. They don't have to convene in Washington. We're in a new age. In 1787, when the American Constitution was put together, it's been referred to many times as a light shining on a hill for this representative democracy that we have. And some people, it's a democracy, it's a republic. It's a democratic republic, but it is a republic. But it's democratic. We, the people, are to select those who run the republic. You know, I think if the founders could have imagined that the elected officials would turn out to be professional politicians, I'm sure they would roll over in their grave. I don't think they imagined it, and if they did, I'm very sure they feared it. And I think we should know why. So, can we make use of the tools of technology to control the government? If it's a government of the people, then if the people can take sufficient initiative, and of course that's a big problem, but the mechanism is there, we could dissolve the House of Representatives. If you remember, they didn't start out in Washington, they started out in New York. And before that, Philadelphia. They can meet anywhere. Well, send them home. Let them vote electronically. Why? Well, first of all, I don't think any senator or representative should have a second home in Washington, D.C. or Virginia. Let them have one home in their home district, in their home state. They're supposed to be representing us when they're down there, not joining an exclusive club and paying homage to the political elites and the financial wizards that pay the bill, the special interests. No, they're supposed to be our representatives. So let's send them home. Let's have every House of represent us from within their district. Now just imagine, you know, in 1787, it was the example for the world. Can we imagine a better America? An America that is true to the Constitution, but improved? And once again, an example, a light on a hill of this is how you do representative government. This is how you make representative republic work. Wouldn't that be great? Well, that's what I'd like you to think about. Imagine your representative being within your district. So if you wanted to testify on federal legislation, you could drive to a point within your district. Now, I suggest in the book that those districts be set up strictly in terms of access. How can the most people have access to those points? Because that's where they're going to be represented, and that's where their representative is going to be listening to them. And you see, it's much more difficult for special interests to fan out in 435 different districts across the country than it is to just sit down with them in what has recently been referred to as the swamp. Well, let's get our representatives out of the swamp and back to the people. Now imagine what else could happen. Okay, so your representative is here and we're in an electronic age. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's got electronics that they can use and put things on the internet. So maybe we should have an opportunity for people within this district when they testify to tape that testimony, and then that representative would kind of be a producer on behalf of their representative district, in that they would take that taped testimony of those people that are their constituents who do a fantastic job of expressing those feelings, those commitments, the ideology of the people from within that district. Couldn't it be a marvelous tool for developing leadership? I think it's kind of exciting. And take those. So now when the representatives get on the internet to the larger group and they're in their committee meeting and they're having this discussion on the internet now, like we've been doing so many of our meetings in 2020, take this videotape and put it on here. Here's what my constituent had to say. And it's a powerful message. It not only does a powerful job of representing that district, but it represents opportunity for young people and people in the community to develop their leadership skills. How about that for a thought? Yeah. Let's learn to use the tools of technology for we, the people, to control the government. Because the government's going to use them to control us. And to a certain extent, they already are. So let's turn that around on them. Let's control the government again. Not the political parties and the special interests. We, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, let's be neighbors once again. All right, well, I got to go out with my little theme song here. Sooner or later, I'm going to learn to play it all the way through without a mistake. But that's why it's a series. Not all millennials are lazy. Not all the boomers are bad. Democrats aren't all just socialists. And Republicans aren't racist, they're mad. Let's see people, not labels. Let's help our neighbor be free. If we can see beneath the labels, I'll see a person like me. I'll see a person like me. I'll see a person just like me. Thank you for dropping by. I hope you liked it. I hope you'll subscribe. And I hope you'll share the word and share the discussion. And let's get back together and take the government away from those political parties. They don't have rights. You do. Have a great day.